Let's look at how we set up conditional rules inside a DNA plan. We'll go into the engine. We're going to go to the DNA section, hit add. We're going to create a new property/client DNA and we'll call this conditional. We will then hit create DNA plan. Now it's important when you are building your DNA plans, the first item that you add into the DNA plan will specify whether it's a client or it's a property DNA. So if we go to add a conditional in first by clicking on the conditional option, we will then have a whole list of options to select conditional rules. If you're building a client follow-up, which means you are setting it against the client record, you will use the client has valid mobile or client's valid email rules. If you are building a rule in relation to a property, and this will be 90% of the plans you create, so whether it's for a vendor, a purchaser, vendor solicitor or purchaser solicitor, you will have the same rules for all four of those parties where it has a valid email or valid mobile. As we know, 90% of the plans you make will be for the property. Let's look at the vendor one and explain what valid email and valid mobile does. If we're building a tool that we want to see if the record has a valid email first, we'll then hit the save option and it will add the conditional. Once the first conditional has been added, the conditional will set up a success option and a fail option. The success option is checking that the vendor has a valid email. If it has a valid email, we're going to tell the system to do a particular action, and most of the time you'll be setting up for it to do an email. So you'll click the email symbol. You will then see that you can specify whether this is a property or a client task. You will select property if you're using vendor, purchaser, solicitor conditionals, and if you're using the clients, you'll select client. You'll then go into the template option and you can pick your email template. You'll be able to automate that and pick what party you want this task to happen for. We will select the vendors and we can pick who we would like to assign it to, the assigned agent on the property, and the timing. We can make it immediate or use our scheduling. Now, if you set the first success rule as immediate, you have to set the next rule as immediate. So if the email fails, we want to then send a letter. So in my template, I will select any letter from the list. I cannot automate letters, but you can emails and SMSs. And the recipients again will be vendor, assigned to will be the assigned agent, and the timing will be immediate. So here we can see we have set up a conditional rule for if the vendor has a valid email, this is our success result, this is our fail result. Let's look at setting up a conditional where it's checking on the mobile. So we'll do another conditional. We will use the same one, vendor has valid mobile, and we will hit save. It may take a few seconds for this to add into the DNA plan. Once your conditional has been added, you'll then be able to set up the success rule, which if they have a valid mobile, we are wanting to do an SMS. In the template area, we will select the blank. We can automate an SMS and we will select it for the vendors. The assigned to, we'll make it the assigned agent on the property record, and the timing, instead of immediate, let's schedule it to happen from the application date 1 day after and hit save. Now remember, the fail rule has to be the same timing. So if we cannot do an SMS, we are going to book in a phone call. And in the template, if you have your scripts, you can select a script. We'll put a test one there. You can select your recipients and we can assign that again to the assigned agent. The timing will be scheduled after 1 day and hit save. If you have any questions, please try building your plan and then contact support and we can check if you've set it up correctly.